Hey guys, how are you? I'm Arushi and I'm pursuing my master's from Carnegie Mellon University. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what your timeline should be while you're applying for fall of 24 and what my timeline was when I applied for fall of 23. So let's get started. As we're finishing up August, I hope that you guys would have given your competitive exams for GRE and TOEFL. And if not, you have the month of September until mid-October to finish giving all your exams. Either you want to give GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, or if you want to retake any exam, then this is a good time to get done with it. Because soon a lot of the deadlines would start opening up from October 1st. A lot of early admission dates would come up, and it is the best thing ever if you can apply early in the early admission dates. By the time that you're finishing up giving all your exams, you should have decided the number of universities that you want to apply to and the different universities that you want to go to. You can do that by talking to a number of alums at that university, to current students, to talk to your counselors, your parents or your friends, anyone who's already in the States, maybe to recruiters, to know what the reputation of that particular college is, what is the outcome of that particular course. So this is a very good time to finish up, to wrap up all of these things. Between October and November, you should finalize your statement of purpose. You should have gone through it multiple times. You should know what you've actually written, and you should get it checked by the people that you trust, maybe your mentors, your friends, people who are already at that university. Because the thing is that your statement of purpose, the main body of it can be quite similar for a lot of universities, but there are some university centric paragraphs that need to change for every program and for every college that you apply to, because certain colleges have a good number of clubs that you want to target, and maybe you want to include that, you want to integrate that into your SOP. So you need to include that. You need to include the number of professors that you want to study under, research under. So all of that is very university specific, but definitely the main body of your SOP can be common across all the colleges that you apply. Now when you're already done with your SOP, you've already taken all your exams, you know your scores, you have already talked to your recommenders, you have all these things sorted. Now the only thing left is to apply and to answer university specific coursework questions, or any other assignment that they give to you while you're applying. So you should start applying from November, because a lot of dates have already come up. So take actions, apply on the priority deadlines, priority dates, because soon in December you're going to get a lot of the deadlines are going to open up, and it's going to be great if you apply as soon as those deadlines open up, because if you apply early, there's a higher chance that you're going to get a decision early, and it's best to receive a decision than to be left hanging. So try to apply within like 2 weeks, once the dates are posted, when the portal opens up, because I feel that's going to give you an advantage. Some universities do not start looking at the applications after the deadline has crossed, but some universities do start looking. It's a first come first serve, so it's like the rolling admissions, so they're going to start looking at the applications as soon as they come in, and you definitely always have higher chances of being admitted to a place if you apply early. Now, if you're scared that if you haven't done all of these things, or if you don't look like that you're on track, don't worry, you still have a lot of time. We're just finishing up August right now. You have four more months left. And even though I've talked about, this is what the proper timeline should look like, this is a very good case scenario, and honestly I could not follow it. I could not keep up with half of it. So I'll just get into how I applied, what my timeline was. So I gave my GRE back in April 2022. I was always targeting fall of 23, so I gave GRE in April 2022. I gave TOEFL. I gave TOEFL once, again in April, time in April, but I the score wasn't satisfactory to me, so I attempted it again, but I gave it in September and it was a good score, so I moved forward with it. I was always researching about universities ever since I decided to go for my master's. I looked at multiple universities. I got it cross-checked with my counselor, with my mentors, with my friends who were already in the States, about where they apply to, what were their admits and rejects, and I was trying to gauge where I stand between the previous pool of applicants. So it's a continuous process, because I remember I made several spreadsheets about all the different universities, the kind of roles that I can go for after it, the different number of courses that I can apply to, the average salary. I did a lot of that stuff. By September, then I had finalized the number of universities that I wanted to apply to. I had shortlisted 6 universities and the course that I wanted to apply to in those places, and then I started working on my statement of purpose. So that took a lot of time, because I had made multiple copies of it. I had 2-3 storylines in my head about how I wanted to present my own story, and I think I made like 3 different SOPs, and I got it checked with my mentors and my friends, and then I finally finalized on one particular story that I felt would help put my point across the most, and I finished that up. Actually, I did not finish that. I just had that outline in my head, but when I started applying to universities, since I had to add a new paragraph every time, a university specific paragraph regarding their clubs, their professors, I changed quite a bit of the body. I shuffled the paragraphs a bit. I changed a bit, like I chose different parts of my story that I presented in my SOP that would tie the entire thing together. So I used to do that until my date of application. Like until I applied, I was still working on my SOP for that individual college. I had sorted out the main body of my SOP, but the final SOP I used to work on until the deadline. So you know how I talked about that you should apply within the first 2 weeks when the dates are posted. So I was also very ambitious like that, but I couldn't apply when the dates were posted. So majority of my applications, majority of the places where I applied to, I applied on the last day. I remember staying up the entire night before and still perfecting my SOP about maybe this doesn't sound right, I should maybe move this. And I was also at the same time also working at the university specific questions. For example, I applied to University of Washington and had 4. It did not ask me for a SOP as far as I remember. It asked me 4 different questions, and definitely a part of my SOP was applicable to it. It did answer it, but for the other 3 questions I had to start from scratch. So that takes up a lot of time. It takes up a lot of your mental energy, and you're very drained at the end of the process. But yeah, so I applied on the day of the deadline for one, I think for Carnegie, and for I think one other college, I don't remember. I remember applying before the deadline, but for everything else it was right on the day of the deadline. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but it just worked out for me. I'm here at Carnegie, so yeah. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video gave you a good idea of what your status should be while you're applying for fall of 24. But again, do not panic if you think you're not on track, because as you heard, even I was preparing for the longest of time, and ultimately things did get delayed from my end. And I know a lot of people who just plan to pursue a master's maybe 3-4 months before the deadlines, and they still manage to get to really good places. But again, do not leave things on luck. Take action, ping your professors, ping your mentors, friends, everyone. If you need to get an answer, be very polite throughout the process. You are not entitled. They are just helping you out, and it's you who needs help and not them. So be respectful in your approach, and all the very best for your applications. Let me know if you have any other questions. Bye.